Hey, what's up my smelly friends and family? How are you guys? What an awesome tag video that's been going around. This is only 10 fragrances for life that you would have to keep in your collection, and you would have to get rid of everything else. And this is obviously very, very hard for a guy like me in the fragrance world and my collection and everything, but there is, you know, designer fragrance. This is a designer list, so it's a great video that's been going around, and just a great tag. So I'd really love to thank Sebastian from Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. What an awesome channel. He's from day one, he's been really doing well with his channel, and so much great info, and just really love his videos. So, and we kind of started out the same time. We're kind of the older generation kind of, and kind of like the mid-school. We're not the old school guys, but we're kind of the mid-school. And then there's a lot of the newer guys that are coming out, which I've been loving your guys' channels. But thank you so much for tagging me, Sebastian. And getting on with this list, these are in no order whatsoever. The top two though are kind of really mean something to me. You know, is when I started and everything. So as you guys know, I used to steal spritzes from my brother back in the late 80s. You know, when I was going to grade school and stuff, he always had the YSL Jazz, and my father of course had the Polo Green, which bad mistake in 6th grade putting too much of that on, but. I've always, my family's always kind of had some fragrances going on in their life, and it's always been the designers, and nothing niche or nothing too crazy expensive, but just some of that stuff. But getting on with this one at number 10, again, I don't really want to say the numbers because it really doesn't matter, but as you guys know, this one is just a fragrance that I don't think will ever be repeated. It's just such a fragrance that when you smell it, you know exactly what it is. There's been some great flankers, but this one is Dior Fahrenheit. This is one of my original bottles. Only a few spritzes missed from this one, but you have just beautiful leather. There's some violet leaf in here, florals. It does have this like petroleum kind of, not really gas, but kind of just like a weird, smell to it. But it's just it's still just an awesome scent, which I love. It's so different, and again, there's really nothing like it. But Dior Fahrenheit, this bottle is actually from 1988, so I'm so happy to have this bottle in my collection. Now the next one, the original, would be, I really love it, but this one is this one they did right. This one is a little brighter, more citrus added to it, and it just really comes off awesome. I got a nice big bottle. But this one is Terre d'Hermès Eau Fraiche, which is just awesome. Like I said, it still has that little bit of woodiness going on in there, but still very, it just gives this fresh vibe off with the citruses in there. Just an awesome fragrance. I actually don't even have a original bottle. I have this one now, and I just love the Eau Fraiche much better than the original. Now this one, again, this is just kind of a classic in the fragrance community. When I first got into it, this was really going around the YouTube, and it's just an all-time Hall of Fame, just a great fragrance. I do have, again, one of the original bottles. I always like to shoot for the originals with trying to get a vintage bottle and all that. A lot of the vintage juices are really great. They're strong. There's a lot of ingredients they use in those versus the newer versions of it, but this one is Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme. Excellent. It's got this awesome tobacco in there, but surrounded by citruses and lavender, and it's still not old school to me either. Some may say that, but I just think this is still a staple in anyone's collection. Just an awesome fragrance. Now this one, guys, this the original Amen, I believe it's Amen. It's for men, but it's the Amen version. It turned heads. That was really the first fragrance that went away and really, tried something different than the aquatics and things like that. And guys, in a lot of the fougères and things like that. But I wanted to go with this one because I do like this one a little bit better. The first version of it, the original, has that tar note, and I love it. I love it to death. But this one is really just more of a compliment getter. People around me like it, and I just like it better. But this one is pure malt. And again, this one has, of course, malt. It's woody. There's this great fruity note in there. It's got oh, it's just kind of, not really boozy, but it's kind of that way. And it just comes off so nice. But Mugler, pure malt, guys, such an awesome fragrance. You can still get it, of course, but I really love that one. Here's another classic that's been around for a long, long time. Again, when I first started getting into fragrances, I purchased this one, and it's just kind of another staple in my collection that I really, really love that I would never want to get rid of. This is the Cologne Concentrate version of it, but this one is Chanel Egoist, which is just awesome. Of course, it's got this great rosewood and woody scent to it. It has like a pepper, some cinnamon in there. It's just another one where you kind of know it's Egoist. That you know, again, I always like to think of like songs and singers being fragrances, and you know when a certain singer is singing a song, you know who it is, you know who they are, you know. And I think that's kind of like fragrances too. There's so many fragrances out there now where it's kind of hard to guess what it is, but with certain fragrances like this, the classics and the great one-of-a-kind fragrances, you just know what it is, you know, and I really like that. So now this one, it's, you know, I don't think I've ever received more compliments with a fragrance than this sucker right here. I mean, the women just love it. It's such a simple kind of generic scent, but man, it works, and I just love it, and it's just a great fragrance. This is from, of course, 2016. There is a newer version. I'm not going to get into all that. I have this, and I have a backup bottle of it, but just a great, great fragrance. But this one is Invictus Aqua. Again, there's ambergris in this. I think there's like a strong, it's not lemon or lime, but I think it's a yuzu note. You have a really strong yuzu note in this, but it's surrounded so nice with, it's just a great, great aquatic, easy to wear, compliment getting fragrance. This is definitely up there in the top complimented category for fragrances. And now this one, guys, is just awesome. Of course, the original version is great, but this one has just this awesome tonka bean, which isn't too sweet or too cloying or too tonka bean-ish. It still has that great Allure Homme Sport kind of feel to it, and I just love it. It's kind of Allure Homme Sport on steroids with that little bit of tonka in there. But guys, this is awesome. Eau Extreme, of course, Allure Homme Sport. It still has that mint and the orange in there, which is great. But man, there's just tonka that comes around in here, and it's still fresh and great, and people love this sucker too. Another very, very complimented fragrance in my collection. Now, as you guys know, again, I don't want to explain too many of these fragrances because you guys know them all already, but this one is it's just a great fragrance. Again, people really like it. Some people don't, but most people will just love this fragrance. We all know what it is. Again, I have the metal cap version of it. This one actually is from 2009. And guys, it's so powerful and smells so damn good. It's excellent, but you guys know it. Lana Wheedle by Yves Saint Laurent. Of course, lavender, cardamom. You got the spices in there. Again, it's just awesome. Doesn't get too powdery on me either. It just smells so great. Now these fragrances right here, these last four, I'm gonna do kind of a 2-in-1, if that makes sense. So I really only have 2 left in my list, but there's gonna be 4, kind of one for, in this category right here, it's one for summer and one for winter. But guys, you know, I wore a fragrance for a long, long time, almost like 12, 13 years. I started looking at YouTube videos, trying to get an idea of what else to wear, and these came up. So actually what I'll do is I'll do the one that actually got me into a different fragrance. This is the first fragrance that I purchased after 12 years of wearing the same fragrance. And I think about that now, and I'm like, damn, that's all I ever wore. Who would do that, you know? But there's so many people that do that. They have literally one signature scent in their cabinet, and that's what they go for. I went through 100 bottles, at least, I'm sure of that one. But this one really, it just opened me up to the fragrance world. I still have, this is a 2010 bottle. I love it to death, guys. This one, Dior Homme Intense. You just can't beat it. It's iris. It's just absolutely amazing. I love the original bottle. Now the Intense 2 version, guys, is it's also got this like chocolatey vanilla vibe in there, but unbelievable. Who would think that kind of that dry clay lipstick kind of feel would just wrap around and be so classy and so elegant. But this one's kind of my winter staple as a designer. Again, I don't want to go through too much. I have a newer version of this that I use, but this one's kind of just a nice little gem that I want to keep in my collection for a long time. Still smells absolutely amazing. It lasts a long time. And most of you like the perfume version of it. You know, I never smelled that. I never even got my hands on it yet. Shame on me for saying that and doing that, but I love the intense version and it's great. I do have that silver collar 2010 version. It's just awesome. So if you guys can find a bottle of that, it is all of it. Now this one, of course, a lot of memories with this one too. I got this right after I purchased the Dior Homme Intense because summer was coming up, and I think I got right into the fragrances right around 2013, I think, right around January. I really started getting in heavy with collecting, and this one's awesome. It kind of reminds me of my nephew. We took a really nice trip, and it was spring/summertime. Just an awesome fragrance. But another one, a 2008 version of it, Dior Oud Sport, and they just do such a great one with this one. You know, the blend, because it's ginger. Who would think ginger would smell really good? But ginger, a lot of lemon in this. And it's just so different. It's just really, I just love this fragrance. Dior Homme Sport, 2008 version. Now again, getting on with a designer fragrance that brings back incredible, awesome memories. Of course, girlfriends. I met my wife. I, married my wife. Just all the great memories. Like I said, this is one I've been wearing for 13 years now. I'm sorry, I wore it for 13 years before I started buying a few other fragrances. But as you guys know already, Acqua di Gio. Now I want to thank Michael out there. I don't want to give your last name or anything, but he, we were kind of, I think it was like 4 years ago, and he's like, we started talking about the, vintage Acqua di Gios and everything, and he had this bottle. This bottle is from 2000. So the year 99-2000 is when I first bought this, and this stuff, guys, is just, it's so potent. This is the way I remember Acqua di Gio when it first came out, and this literally is a 2010 bottle. I want to cherish it for the rest of my life, and it's just so many memories. Now, if you guys can't find the original and you don't really like the newer version of it, I'm sure they've changed some ingredients. It still smells the same, but it's probably not going to last as long. This stuff is all of it, guys. This is the Profumo version of it, and it is just awesome. It's stronger. It's got a patchouli note in there. It's got some incense, but this is literally like the version, kind of like the original version, the vintage version of Acqua di Gio, and this stuff is just incredible. Now, I know this is limited. I think it's now discontinued, but if you guys can get your hands on this sucker, it'll be a great investment. And the other day I wore it for compliments. Now, people know that when I work with, they know that I wear fragrances, so they're always kind of smelling them anyway, but they just love this one. I just don't think it's ever gonna get old. It's never gonna become an old school like Dracar or anything like that. It's just always gonna just smell freaking awesome. I just love Acqua di Gio, and it of course has a place in my heart with all the great memories when I first started this fragrance, this fragrance journey, of course. But guys, I can't thank you enough. As you guys know, one of my great fragrance reviewers that I watch constantly. I don't think I've ever missed a video of his. Cody Drakdock. He's one of the originals. One of the great guys, from New York, and really got me into a lot of great fragrances, and really brought me into the reviewing, this world, and I just love it. So Cody, hopefully you can do it. Hopefully you're not tagged already. But guys, thanks so much. Hopefully this didn't run out too long. I didn't want to drag it on too long, but I like to just tell you some of the history and some of the stories with a lot of great, I'll always have a place in my heart with designers. I'm not a niche knob or a snob or anything, and I only do niche now, and I'm gonna throw all the way to the designers because designers are awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're compliment getters, they're easy to wear, and they're just great fragrances, So Rise Frags 34, I can't thank you enough for all your support and just watching my videos. It truly means a lot to me, and thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.